But yeah, I just, to do some actual vlogging, quick vlog, I took the two cats, Dandy and Joffrey. Joffrey, he has a tumor on his jaw. It's a bad deal. But Dandy seems to be in good health, but they did some blood work and they were going to do a urine test, but they couldn't because Dandy had no urine in her bladder. So what they did is they gave me these plastic beads that I was instructed to put in a litter box, and that would sort of mimic like something that they can dig around in or whatever. And then she's supposed to pee on the beads, and then I can kind of like, they gave me this little thingy so I could like take the urine out of the litter box and then put it in a tube. And I did that. I successfully gathered a cat's urine, and I just dropped the urine sample off at the fucking vet. And while I was on my way there, I was talking to my mom, and she revealed to me something that I didn't know. I'm gonna be home soon, and we're talking about going to see the movie Babylon. And then I was talking about how Avatar is also playing, and I'm interested in seeing that. And she was like, I'm not that interested in seeing Avatar. And I was like, you know, I'm not super interested either, but James Cameron, you know, he's a legit filmmaker. He's made some true classics. And then she was like, yeah, that's true. And then she said, one of my favorite movies is a James Cameron movie, actually. And then I was like, damn, really? And I was almost certain that she was going to say True Lies, because I don't know why I was so certain. I remember her liking that movie when I was younger. But also, like, Jamie Lee Curtis in Knives Out is sort of like the same vibe as my mom. Like a little more prickly or whatever, but like, yeah, I was just certain that she was gonna say True Lies. But then she was like, yeah, I can't remember. I think it's called The Sphere. And I remember this movie that I think it's just called Sphere. It came out in the 90s with Samuel Jackson. It's about some sort of underwater thing. And then I was like, well, that's definitely not a James Cameron movie. But then I was like, oh, he does have an underwater movie though. It's called Avatar 2: Way of Water. He has an underwater movie. It's called The Abyss. And then she was like, yes, The Abyss. That is one of my favorite movies. That's an incredible movie. And then she started talking about how much she loves The Abyss and how great the cast of The Abyss is and how I really need to watch The Abyss, and how The Abyss, if it was like on TV and she saw it playing, she would always stop and watch it. And I was like, did you know there's a podcast called The Rewatchables that's premised on talking about movies that if they're on TV, you always stop and watch it? And she's like, I didn't know that. And I was like, maybe you could be a guest on their episode about The Abyss. And she said, maybe.